Yo, 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 yo. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. What's good, chat? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's popping, everybody? Happy fucking Wednesday. Let's talk about it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all already know what it is. What it is. What it is. Let's get it. We're going to talk all Commanders sports right now, man. Your boy has something to get off his ass. We're going to go over this injury report. We're going to talk about just some current topics that's been thrown around the, social media platforms. Yeah, man, we're gonna get real, we're gonna get real spicy, man. We're gonna get real. No, I'm joking. We ain't about to get real spicy, but let's tune in, let's lock in, let's talk about it. All right, man. So I'm Washington Commanders. In Spain, Madrid. I mean Madrid, Spain. I said Spain, Madrid. We are currently in Madrid right now, getting ready to take on the Miami Dolphins as part of the international gameplay that the NFL is trying to expand to multiple, you know, different countries to continue to spread the game of football. And we are up. I don't think a lot of the fan base kind of want to be out here right now just simply because you know, we ain't good right now. Do we want to be out in Madrid? Nope. Do we currently want to be in Madrid right now? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think we want to be locked in at Madrid. We'd rather just play the games at home or away. But flying out to Madrid is kind of probably not the best thing for us at this current moment in time. But we here. We're gonna unpack the game, my thoughts, my breakdowns, what I want to see, talk about some hot topics. And the first hot topic that we are going to talk about, then we're gonna get to some of the craziness. Let's just go over the injury report real quick, and then we're going to divulge in some of the social media, things we've been seeing, that we've been kind of like tuned into. Let me move this over real quick. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right, my bad, y'all. Just kind of had to fix the window real quick. Had to fix the window real quick. So, as we all can see, and it's kind of like one of the topics that I want to discuss is that we see right here, Will Harris. It has been reported that the 21-day he has been opened up to the 21-day practice window, which we kind of thought that he was going to be out for the season, and we might see him. If we don't see him play this week, probably in the next 2 weeks, we'll get Will Harris back on the defense, and that'll be a huge help to our defense. Even though we pretty much all are on the same accord about how we feel about this team currently right now, and no hope whatsoever, and us having any type of success as the season ends, right? Um, and my bad. I should switch this around because my camera's here. My information that I'm reading off of is right here, but all the display on this platform is over here. And I can't look. I should be looking over here. It's kind of how they tell you when you're streaming. Some little tidbits I found out. So let me try to switch this up real quick. Let me move this over here. And then we're gonna move this right here. All right. Let's get it. What's that? What it right here? All right, let me minimize this screen a little bit. All right. So I won't be able to see the chat too. Yeah, bang, boom, bow. Uh, but hey, man, here we go, man. Traylon Burks, who kind of appeared on the injury list before DQ and the team took off to Madrid. They notified that Traylon Burks had a finger issue that he went into surgery for. It's not season ending. He's probably out this week. We'll probably see him back next week. They didn't go into the full extent of what the injury was. If something happens with his finger, and he had surgery on it. So we won't have Traylon Burks, who had a decent game against the Detroit Lions, even though we don't want to talk about how bad that game was, right? Then we got, Jaden Daniels, who's not traveling with the team. He's still in Lando, and this is kind of what's going to lead me to my very next topic I'm probably going to talk about after going over the injury report. He stayed back in the DMV to rehab and get his left dislocated elbow. What the fuck? Why y'all asking me that? Of course I'm still here. Ali Calhoun concussion and is out for this week's game. Zach Ertz NIR rest. DMP Terry McLaurin quad. He did travel with the team, but he is not playing in this game. DQ already ruled him out. Laramie Tunsil, rest day, veteran rest day. Like I said, Will Harris with the ankle injury. Frankie Louvu shoulder limited. Quan Martin shoulder limited. C-Rod shoulder full, and Bobby Wagner full practice. And this is kind of how it pretty much goes on the first day of practice, full practice, I believe, even though it might be a walkthrough, is that we sometimes currently see, we see a lot of guys on DMPs and limited due to, just trying to give guys extra rest and extra time to heal up. Yeah, man, we are broken. We are broken into half right now with injuries. No excuses, but it doesn't take away from the fact that we got so many goddamn injuries. I mean, it gives you a glimpse of like, damn, we get one guy back, Will Harris, in the next week or two. Good thing that we got a bye week, so that gives him even more time to, ramp up and get ready to get back onto the field. Who was playing pretty good for us as we, as the season started, right? So now that we got him here, practicing in Madrid, and just kind of giving him those in-game reps that he needs to kind of, get ready to get back into playing football for our Commanders, right? So that's the injury report. But that leads me into the just one of the topic discussions that's been going around. We're gonna get to all of this right here. But as you guys can see, I pulled the 21-day practice window. But I wanted to get to this right here. And again, I'm not saying that this is 100% true, but I'm speaking as if this has some truth to it. As we know, and as we heard, Dan Quinn he kind of reported this in his press conference, is that sometimes when players are hurt, we often see these guys up in the booth, and we don't see these guys on the field supporting the team, rooting on the team. Most of the guys are up in the booth rooting on. You see Javonte, you see Noah Brown, Jaden Daniels, and then you see Terry McLaurin, and that's the guy that I kind of want to touch on when it comes to this right here. No Diddy, is that the word around the and this is just maybe local media. I don't know if this is national media. I may have seen this get picked up on some national media platforms. I think Sports Junkies kind of talked about it, but we don't give a fuck about what they're saying. There's been some ramblings, and then I heard even Lake Lewis talk about it on my guy Rio Robinson page on their live that they did yesterday. And it's affecting some of the players and some of the people, some of the fan bases are affected by Terry McLaurin not being on the field, on the sideline, doing practices, doing warm-ups in the game. He's not on the sideline rooting on his team because he's the heartbeat of this team, which I would probably say he was before we drafted JD5. But the heartbeat of this real team is our quarterback. He was shown on the sideline rooting on the team and all that. But I just want to make something very, very clear, and this is just from Simba's standpoint. I can give two fucks who's sitting on the sideline when we go into battle. Because the niggas on the sideline has no effect in no way, shape, or form on the game that we got to play. Playing against Detroit, us playing against Detroit, playing against the Chiefs, playing against the fucking Dallas Cowboys, the last 4 weeks of us getting 30-plus points put on our head, Terry McLaurin, Jaden Daniels, Javonte Baptiste, Nober, all these guys been on the sideline was not going to help us lose those games by any less points or potentially win those games. Because we are ass. We are ass. And having the heartbeat of the team on the sideline is not. And we've seen JD on the sideline for some of these games. He maybe wasn't on the sideline for the Detroit game, and that's understandable. We've seen him, and he's been shown up in the booth. Even so, Mama Daniels had to come out and just, correct one of the content creators, and still shout out to Brandon. I think it's Brandon Daniels. And this ain't even about, calling him out or anything like that. This is just simply, talking about, just reporting, false information. Jaden Daniels MVP, man. Shout out to Jay. And he owned up to it. He's like, man, thank you for the correction. And that's fine. Like, this is not me trying to bash him in any way, shape, or form. But this is kind of, why do we care as fans who is sitting on the sideline or who is standing on the sideline rooting on the team as we go to battle with the guys that we got currently on the roster? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Don't make sense to me. If you have an issue with it, okay, all right, that's fine. But it's like, damn, like, why is it an issue? Like, why is it an issue that we don't see these guys on the sideline rooting on the team, and we are still bad? We're still bad as a unit. We're not getting any better. We're not getting any better with these guys being on the side. I'd much rather these guys be suited up and going to war with their teammates rather than them being on the field and giving us nothing and just rooting us on as like they some cheerleaders or something, or they're gonna give some secret juice or some secret oomph to them playing better. I just don't. I don't really understand it. I really don't. I really don't. But for those fans that want to make it a thing, I wanted to address it. But Simba is here telling you that shit is not going to help the team play any different brand of football or play the brand of football that we was expecting. These injuries have fucked us over this season. The personnel has fucked us over this season, and the coaching has fucked us over this season. And we already know what's been spoke. DQ kind of spoke about it on Misery Monday. Is that Joe Witt has been removed from calling the plays, and DQ will be taking over calling the plays for this Sunday against Miami. Now, what does that kind of look like in the sense of what we see from some of the fans, from the content creators? Why so late, Dan Quinn? Why wait till week 10 when there's no hope in us being a playoff team? Why take over now? Why wait until this late? And that could be a little bit of a strike against Dan Quinn for waiting so late to see what some of the fan bases, some of the fans have already saw. Some of the local media have already saw that Joe Witt just doesn't have it as a play caller, right? And I had one of my good friends ask me, he was like, man, don't Dan Quinn take some blame for this? And I said, you had some fans putting Dan Quinn on the hot seat because how do you not see this guy is not a good play caller? His scheme is not good. And we hear week in and week out, hey, man, we got to dumb down the defense. And then it's kind of combative because then you go and see guys like Von Miller, who's a veteran on the team, come out and say, man, it's not the coaching. The coaches are doing a great job. It's us, the players, not going out onto the field and executing, right? Pretty much what he alluded here. I'm not going to read all this. Y'all can pause and look at this yourselves once this post on my YouTube page. But summing it up, pretty much, this is Von Miller pretty much saying, I don't think that we really can blame the coaching staff. How can you blame the coaching staff for what we're not executing on the field? And that got some truth to it, right? And that's kind of why I moved personnel in front of scheme and coaching. As the biggest failures that's going on in 2025, this 2025 season is injuries, personnel, and then the scheme / the players that we seeing. Scheme / the coaching, right? Because yes, rightfully so, you're getting paid millions of dollars to coach the roster that you have, and it may not be the personnel that you want to run the style of defense that you want to call. But your job as a defensive coordinator is to say, all right, let me get back to the drawing board. Let me lock myself in this room, in this office. Let me get on the drawing board. Let me get some of these veteran players on and in here, and let's collaborate and let's figure out what's the disconnect or what can work so that not just to make me look good, but make the team look good when we go out there and play football on Sundays. So yes, he do got to take a major accountability. Yes, you do point some, you give Dan Quinn some, you fault him to an extent, right? And then there's the question is like, what is him stepping in now what does that mean for this team? And I think we need to look at it from this is an evaluation period for some of the veterans that we may or may not bring back next year. Do I think that there is going to be this great hope of change now that DQ is calling defenses? Who knows? And this is where become a little bit different at, right? Yes, you may not see the major success, but the calls in which they're coming in, right? The scheme is not going to change. I don't think it's going to change. The verbiage is going to stay the verbiage. but it's how you call a game. I think that's where you might see the difference between a Joe Witt and a DQ. And just for an example, right? We struggle with getting pass rush early on in the games, right? We don't have no pass rushes. We are a pass rush by committee, and what all of us as fans has been asking about, right? Oh man, we need to get a pass rush, or we need to find a way to get pressure on the quarterbacks, bro. They sitting back there all day and picking us apart. So, have we been successful in blitzing this season? No, we haven't been successful in no way, shape, or form as a defensive unit. Playing man, playing zone, playing blitzing. We haven't been good at all, right? But what you could kind of see in play calling from a Dan Quinn versus a Joe Witt, in my humble opinion, I don't know, I may be wrong, right? But when you may see a Dan Quinn who is like, fuck it, we just want to be aggressive and blitz 3 down straight versus we may play man early with Joe Witt first and second down, and then we fall into a zone. Yeah, Dan Quinn may say, nah, fuck that. We're going to blitz first, second down, and then we're going to play man third down, but we also sending in an extra guy. That's what you might see. You know what I'm saying? And even though it may not work, and then we're going to throw in some zone coverages. We're going to play a little bit more man than we do zone, because based upon the numbers, we probably look the best, even though the best doesn't equal up. It still equal up to us getting 40 plus points put on our head, or 30 plus points put on our head. You might see some type of stops come in where the guys are more successful in man coverage. So we're going to play a lot more man. It's like we're going to live with playing man. And that's some of the stuff that we was angry with Joe Witt, especially the Kansas City Chiefs game, where we seen him have the best success in the defense by playing man coverage and blitzing or sending pressure, and it worked. It worked in the first half. Now, what the fuck happened in the second half? I don't have the numbers in front of me to say, oh yeah, we went to a more zone-based defense. But we did see a lot more zone in the second half, which is like, why the fuck are we doing that, Joe Witt? Why are we not sticking with what's working? Why are we switching shit up? But this is where we are. This is what we had to deal with. So you got to take it with a grain of salt and say, hey, man, what can DQ bring to this team that's going to make us play a little bit better? As you guys can see, Noah Brown is out there getting some little work in. Is we going to see him on the field? I don't know. But let's take a listen to Bobby Wagner.
I think it means the players are not executing at the level that they need to be. And so we just got to do better, and we got to perform better. We got to execute better. It doesn't matter, the play calls. We as players have to take onus of us being out there on the field. The coaches are out there on the field, and so we have to execute better regardless of who's calling the defense.
Yeah, just piggybacking off of Bobby saying. I feel like, we just got to bring the play to life, whatever causes it, going out there and executing it. At the end of the day, just everybody doing their job.
So this is where a lot of the fan base is kind of like looking at this and hearing this and saying, well, that's an AP problem and a Dan Quinn problem for bringing in all these old-ass defensive players and putting them on the field, and they're not playing the brand of football that they wanted them to play. And some people say it's just the veteran, like they slow, we need more speed, which is all true. I think we do need more speed. This is why you're seeing Jordan McGee get a little bit more playing time. I know a lot of people been asking for Kane, the 5th round pick that we drafted this year out of UCLA, who has speed. Why are we not putting this guy in? Why are we not rotating him in? And maybe now, I don't know if he's going to be suited up to this Sunday, but this is the time where we should be evaluating a lot of the young talent, man. Now, they say mathematically we're not out of the playoffs, right? We got to get this win and pretty much win out. All right, this is when the realistic fans come in and say, nigga, ain't no shot in hell that we winning out with the injured / personnel that we have on the field. We don't give a fuck who calling the offense and defense. We don't. Our star quarterback is out. Our star receiver is trying to work his way back. Who we thought was going to play opposite side of a guy that's injured, and Terry McLaurin, is Noah Brown. We haven't seen him. Traylon Burks came in and gave us a spark, but guess what happened with him? He's out. He's out this week. So Again, injuries. Stamp that on our jerseys and helmets. We are an injury-plagued team right now. So I don't see the success in the team. I'm optimistic. Yeah, I'm optimistic. But realistically, I don't see us pulling out 7 straight W's. I just don't see it. And the only thing that would make me start to believe that we could do this is the play that the players play on the field. Like Frankie Lou just alluded to, we got to bring the calls to life. We got to add the fire behind the calls. And we're just not seeing it. Seeing guys run into each other, seeing guys defend trips to the left side of the field, and you got the outside receiver running a fly route, taking that corner out the way. And then you got the middle receiver, the slot receiver, just running a quick comeback. It's 3rd and 6. They looking for the sticks. They not looking to take the top off the defense. I mean, they would if it's there because he got enough time to read every route because we can't get pressure on the quarterback. And then you got the inside receiver running a quick slant. But then you go and look at it from a defensive side. Cornerback do his job. Linebacker picks up the slant. The slot cornerback chases the slant as if he don't know that he's supposed to have inside help. And we always talk about do your fucking job. Don't try to play heroic football. Do your fucking job. And you left the comeback butt naked to a veteran Jared Goff who just sat there and said, thank you. First down. So that's not coaching. That's not scheme. That's just the personnel being on the field trying to make the heroic play instead of making the play that he's supposed to be making. Now, if you'd have read it correctly, he probably could have ran and jumped the comeback route. But did he? No. I can't even remember who that was on coverage because at the end of the day, ain't none of our DBs look good. Ain't none of our safeties look good. Only safety that probably showed a glimpse of looking good from a tackling standpoint is Jeremy Reeves. Quan Martin, who I speak highly of just this season, now that he got 2 good shoulders, well, as we see, he got another bad shoulder again. He forgot how to tackle. He forgot how to tackle now. All of a sudden, he forgot how to tackle. Is that a sign of, oh, shit, we should have had Jeremy Chin back? I'm not going to go into all of that. We should have had this guy. Oh, we should have re-signed this guy. Man, fuck it. We didn't sign a guy. We brought in Will Hurst, who was playing some good football, and fuck it, he got hurt. That's not against that. That's not to say that we made the bad, like AP mad the bad. And I'm saying the AP hate. Oh, none of these picks are working out. And it's like, damn, like, I can understand. I understand. I mean, I say, damn, I understand the frustration in the draft picks that we have brought in and not giving nothing in their second year. I get it. The guys that's in their second year. I've heard people bring up Johnny Newton, Ben Sinnott. These 2 guys are not giving us Mike Sanders still, who is not. All 3 of these guys are one not being given an opportunity. And Ben, he's getting out there in moments. He scored a touchdown, right? But is he really giving us? Are they really giving him an opportunity to showcase his talents? I don't think so. We really only bring him in for 13 personnel when we bring in 3 tight ends. But having him replace Zach Ertz in some of these passing plays, nope, we don't use him for that. We use John Bates more than we use Ben. And it's just like, all right, so he's not really getting the opportunity. Then we go to Johnny Newton, who is a rotational D tackle. Why do we expect everybody to come in here and be a Hall of Fame type player? He's a 2nd round pick. All right. He hasn't shown us that he's the guy or he is the next up and coming D tackle. And sometimes you miss, y'all. That happens with some players. Shit, look at the fucking Dallas Cowboys who drafted Mozzie Smith out of Michigan, and he didn't get him nothing. But now, look, he gets traded to the Jets, and he have a great run-stopping game. And then sometimes you can let go talent, too. I've been seeing the whole Emmanuel Forbes, Benjamin St. Juste. I haven't so much from Benjamin St. Juste. But Emmanuel Forbes looking like he's coming to his own now. I'm not saying that he ain't been getting cooked still. Yes, he has. He's still giving up some plays. But he showed you that he can be some type of talent or some type of help to the Los Angeles Rams. Los Angeles Rams. Did we give up too early? Hey, new regime came in here and said, hey, we cleaning house. We don't like none of these picks. Outside of Deron Payne, Sam Cosmi, and fucking Terry McLaurin. That's it. Brandon Coleman coming in, who we thought was going to be our future left tackle. Then we thought he was going to be our future left guard. Come to find out, he ain't neither. It's looking like he may be a career backup because Chris Paul has playing phenomenal football. Larry McTunsil's playing lights out football. But then you will hear some of the fan base call out Josh Connolly Jr. I wasn't a fan of the pick. I would have rather took Mike Green out of Marshall. I would have rather took Nick. And I'm not trying to disrespect your last name, but Nick out of the safety out of I forgot what school he went, Texas A&M or whatever he went, Mississippi State, one of them damn schools. But it's playing for Seattle. I would have rather take one of those guys, right? But as I settled, as I came to, I see. All right, the vision of AP is to build around his franchise quarterback. Did we need a right tackle? I would say no. I think Andrew Wiley could have got the job done for another year. I think Andrew Wiley could have got the job done for another year. I don't think he played like terrible the year before. I wasn't saying he was great, but he didn't play terrible. He had a way better season he had the year before we got JD in the building. But now it's like, all right, we went with Josh Connolly Jr. All right, I'm rocking with AP. You see a vision. I'm gonna follow your vision plan. All right, now we get back to Johnny Newton, who is not. He showed flashes last year, but now it's like, damn, nigga, he regressed. And I agree with a lot of the content creators and fans that a lot of these second-year players have regressed and not progressed. And I can get it, but when you're a battered team, bruising battered team, it's like, man, can you truly evaluate anybody? I know Mike Sanders still, everybody say, man, he's a better outside corner than he is a slot guy. Oh, shit. Until we see him back out there on the outside playing football and see if he makes a change. But let's not be, he's the only DB on our team that got 3 picks. He's the only DB that got a pick on this team. He's the only one that turned the ball over for us. So it hasn't been all good, but it hasn't been all bad either. So when I sum it up, I say, man, look here. It's hard to evaluate a team that has lost more starters than we thought we was going to lose. That's not taken away from the competitive, like, still saying. So that's what you kind of allude to, like the coaching, the bad coaching, right? The predictability of the coaching on offense. We've still been able to move the ball down, but this is something I've been calling out about Cliff Kingsbury air raid offense since week 2. Is that the shit looks predictable. I'm not saying that it don't work, but I'm saying more than enough. I can sit here and look at the player personnel that's coming onto the field and look at the tendencies and see what it is that we're doing. Now, defense has still got to stop it. And the last 4 games, we haven't had the best success on offense. And a lot of people say, yeah, we ain't got JD5. That's true. We ain't got Terry McLaurin. True. We ain't got Noah Brown. True. Shit, we ain't got Luke McCaffrey now. True. But I'm still sitting here looking like when it works, when you can just see when Cliff is in his bag, like the shit looks different. There's multiple different like play calls, and it's like the next call is like, damn, better than the first, the other call, the previous call that he made. And it's just like, damn. And then it flows right back into predictable play calling. In-game adjustments, we don't see it a lot. So it's not just Joe Witt Jr. Cliff Kingsbury is, you got to look at him a little bit too. So nobody is excluded from getting overly criticized about the gameplay, the type of play we've been having this season for the Washington Commanders. So I understand the frustration from the fans, but damn, can we also just look at it from an overall view and say this is year 2? This is not a recalibration no more. I'm hearing people say that this is a total rebuild. It needs to be. Shit, even myself have found myself starting to really truly dive into scouting these college players and the draft pick that we want to have. I've done a mock draft. Shit. Fuck it. I admit to it. I've done a mock draft. And I'm not ashamed of it. I'm a little ashamed of it because, god damn, why am I doing a mock draft this early? Nobody thought in their right mind that we'd be doing a mock draft based upon the success we had last year. But like a lot of people say, or like how the backup quarterback Marcus Mariota said, maybe we just not who we thought we were. And maybe we need to really fine-tune some of this defense get some better players on offense. And let me see if I can show y'all my real quick. I'm gonna see if I can show y'all my my quick little mock draft that I did. Yeah, I'm gonna share this with y'all. Hold on, real quick. Let's see. Yeah. Here go my mock draft, y'all. This is what my mock draft looking like if we were to pick at number 8 this season so far right now. This is my future mock draft. I shouldn't even be doing this shit right now, but fuck it. This is the content that you guys are going to get from your boy. This is here the content that I did. I did my first what I thought and from what we need. And then y'all see where I went with it. Y'all see where my mindset lies at. Because I goddamn will not accept the defense that we brought out here next season. I won't accept that type of defense. So I addressed some of the areas of concern that we need. As you guys can see, a big name coming out of college this year, linebacker Reese out of Ohio State. I traded back. I got us a second and a fifth and a first. I got us a little something. I got us 3 picks back for one. All in the same draft, all in the same season. I mean, all in the same draft. And y'all see what I did? Y'all see what I got going on? Yeah. Yeah. I made some shit happen. You feel me? You feel me? Then we went and took edge rusher Derek Moore, bigger guy, better in the run defense, somebody a young guy that can help seal the edge. And then we went with I took 2 ends because I don't even know if I want to use Reese as a Frankie Louvu type of linebacker. I do want to see him drop back in coverage a little bit more, but I do think that he excels at as a pass rusher, no doubt. I think he got 6.5 sacks this season. But I'm addressing a big part of what we need to fix on our team. Up front and on the back end. Emmanuel McNeil Warren is a guy that people need to be looking out for as a safety. He might be a top safety coming out of the draft this year. 6'1", 6'2", 205, I think. Yeah, we got Will Harris. A lot of people want to get rid of Quan Martin. Here go your replacement right here. Here go your replacement right here. I heard some people say, and a lot of people speak about the guard position. Here go a big guard, somebody that can help push the interior lineman, get some push on this run game that we need to, also heavily get better at. And then I went with Chase Roberts, a receiver out of BYU. I know I haven't watched a lot of them, but some of the games that I did watch, I'm like, oh shit, big body receiver a receiver that can come in. Got a nice catch radius. JD can just oop it up there to him. Make some of those tough contested catches that we need. Not saying that Terry isn't doing that, but he's getting older. So we got to really start looking at the next group of receivers that we're going to bring in for Jaden Daniels. And then I ended off with, I don't know how to Apinani out of Oregon. 6'2", 6'3", 328 or 338. Hey, man. These are some big guys that what I seen happen to Tyler Biadasz against the Detroit Lions on that toss play. Slim get mauled like back into the running back off the snap of the ball. Yeah, we need some bigger jokers because we got to be able to run the ball. But we also got to be able to protect our franchise quarterback. Not saying that they haven't been doing a good job, but we got to get a little bit bigger on our interior and offensive line. Josh Conley Jr. definitely got to put on some extra weight. So I see what it is that we need to work on as an offense and as a defense. I see the areas that we need to get better at. And then in the free agency, there's going to be some guys that we can definitely go out to. So you may not need an edge rusher. You might can replace that with a cornerback or something like that. But this is just the initial, right? This is just what I cooked up. Real quick, I'm just going to cook this up. But I know that this guy right here can help us out. This guy Reese, that Reese guy, yeah, he can help us right now. He can help us right now. I don't care what nobody say. He can help us out right now. So yeah, maybe I'll replace Derek Moore in the second round. I go get me a tight end if we need one, or I go get me a motherfucking another receiver, a big name receiver out there. Because Chase Roberts is not like the best of the best, but he can help us out. Shit. He can run a couple routes. I just need him. He can get better. So this is a rebuild, not a recalibration right now. All right. So that's enough of me talking about. Let's get into Miami Dolphins. Let's get into Miami Dolphins. What do I expect to see from this offense going into against the Miami Dolphins, who's been playing a very good game of football, coming off a win against the Buffalo Bills? Is it division? Yes. Do division rivalries tend to ramp up the level of play that we see week in and week out when division games are played? Yeah. One could say that, even though we just seen a hell of a game against the Packers and the fucking Eagles on Monday Night Football. But I still think how bad we are that they are building on top of the victory that they just got against the Buffalo Bills, Miami, that is. So I expect Tua Tagovailoa to come in, even though he threw a pick and he played some good football. I expect them to come in and still believe that, hey, this guy can come in and he say, I feel like I can come in here and do my thing. He feel like I can come in here and do my thing for real, for real. That's how he feels. He feels as though like, all right, they've been playing bad, bet. We can capitalize off of this and get another W on our record. But I still expect the defense to come in and play a little bit more inspired football. Maybe the change would help out the defense to play the game a little bit more because they are under a microscope. So is Dan Quinn. So everybody playing for a job right now. Everybody playing to potentially get re-signed back to this team. Because when you see the coordinator get replaced, who next? Next is the personnel. So now we evaluating the personnel and saying who it is that's going to make it back on this squad next year or going to be looking for a new destination. So I expect these guys to come out and play a different brand of football, more inspired football. I can't really speak to, Dan Quinn and what he likes to do and his tendencies from a play calling perspective, but it's going to be exciting to see how we come out and try to stop A-Chain, Waddle. I don't even know if they're going to get back Waller back this game or not. I'm not sure. But those Malik Washington, we got to, and they're going to be running a lot of motion plays. We've seen that we are sweetie pies when it comes to guys that motion a lot on our defense. I mean, on the offense. We cannot stop that shit. Maybe Dan Quinn can get through to these guys and we can find a better way of being a better defense. Because right now, I wouldn't be surprised if the Miami Dolphins come in and put up another 30 plus on our head. And I already know the headlines if that happened. Shit, now Dan Quinn ain't there. We need to get rid of Dan Quinn. We got to let Dan Quinn go. That's how outrageous our fan base is. We'll look at that and say, damn, we ain't going to give him another week. We ain't going to point out and say, man, we had a couple of good drives, a couple of costly penalties that fucked us over. And we ain't going to come out and say, nah, it ain't the coaches, Slim. This is the personnel that we had. And this is the injuries that we got to deal with. So, who knows, man? Who knows how the defense is going to show up and show out? I know we just signed a DN who could potentially be elevated up to the active roster by game time. I think his previous stint, Walker, I don't want to say, is it DeMarcus Walker, I believe, or Marcus Walker, who played for the Bears and is now with us, former second-round pick. Can he come and give us anything? Something? I would like to see the young guy, and y'all already know me, what I said. Y'all saw my tweet. Y'all already saw who it is that I wanted to see get some bump. Activate Darius Rush. Let's get him out there. He didn't been on the practice squad, the last 2-3 weeks? Let's see what he can give us. He's a young big body cornerback, 6'2", out of South Carolina. He played in that sec football. He played some sec football in college. So you know a little something, South Carolina. Let's get him out there. Let's see what he can do. Because Jonathan Jones, even though he didn't play a bad game, shit, we hurt. We lost Trey Amos out for the season, potentially. So let's see what we got. Hamilton Sr., we saw him in the preseason and then the training camp that he ain't it. He a good special teamer. That's about it. Don't like him in coverage. Let's see what some of these other guys that we got stockpiled on the fucking practice squad. Let's bring some of these guys up and let's start evaluating the talent. Now we get to the offense. Marcus Mariota going to war with Deebo Samuels, Jalen Lane, Robbie Chosen, no Traylon Burks. Fuck, I wish we would have had Traylon Burks, for this week as well, but we don't. It is what it is. It is what it is. All good. All good. All good in my opinion, my humble opinion. But at the same time, I kind of just want to see some of the other younger guys. Ja'Cory Brooks, who we saw phases of him show up and show out in training camp. We heard his name called throughout training camp. We saw him put some good work in preseason. Why are we not giving this guy a chance, I ask? Some would say, hey, you don't want to show him if you're not going to keep him on the active roster. Why not? Why are we not looking to keep him on the active roster if he come in and produce? Thank you, Robbie Chosen, for what you gave, but we want to rock with the young guys. We brought up Jacoby Jones, who's another young guy, so it'll be good to see him get on the field and get some reps. I hear a lot of people saying, man, we don't need to bring Deebo back. I think Deebo kind of works. He works with this offense. But when you don't have your star guy and your second receiver that you anticipated to have, you have to level up his expectations. And now the defenses are going to be keying in on the special plays that we like to call for him. The Gidget and Gadget plays. They're going to be looking out for those. So why are we not taking off the top of the defense with him? I don't know. Do Marcus Mariota have enough time to get the ball down the field? We saw a one glimpse of it against Detroit with Jalen Lane. But the bubble screens, the quick screens, all this shit that we like to run, but we don't have nothing to counter it. All right, they know we like to run bubble screens. They know we like to run the quick screen game. They know we like to motion Deebo Samuel to the backfield and get him the ball out into the flats. We know this already. The defensive teams that we playing up against week 10, they know it already. So I just asked, man, what are we really doing here to try to make us look like to help us look like a better team? I'm just curious, guys. I'm curious. Y'all let me know how y'all feel, what y'all thinking about this, because it hurts. It hurts looking at this team and not being able to see them, play to the level that we would like them to play at. In all honesty. Did I end my live? I ended my live. What the fuck happened? So I don't know, man. Y'all let me know, man. I'm about to get up out of here. Good luck to the team. Safe travels, everybody that's flying out to Madrid. Enjoy the vacation. Have a good time. And I'll catch y'all on the next one, baby. Praise hell, I'm up out of here.